Hello and welcome to your video on how to not give an F. Now, I am not at the point on YouTube, a status, or wherever I should be or will be to start cursing up a storm, but this is how to not give an F. There are so many ways to learn how to not give an F, and there are so many benefits to not giving an F that this video shouldn't just be one video, it should be multiple videos, right? But we're gonna give this to you in one video and maybe we turn it into a series. I don't know, we'll find out, because maybe I just don't give an F and we'll make more videos, who knows? The way I started a YouTube channel was by not giving an F. If I gave an F about the video being perfect, about it being to look like other people that I look up to and other channels just very formulaically perfect and like they have an act 1, 2, and 3, then it may not even be formulaic. It may just be something that's just has its own beautiful, as Bukowski said, it explodes out of its own volition. Maybe it just has that. I don't think I would ever start a YouTube channel. To truly do this, had to just sit in the chair, hit the camera, not give an F. Really not give an F how this is perceived or how this is taken. Stick to the reasons why I wanted to do this in the first place, and that was to give people value, give people my story so it can hopefully help them out in their lives, and then down the line they could maybe not make the same mistakes I did, or they could be like, whoa, I think I've heard about this story before, maybe I should go about this differently because I heard this guy on YouTube talk about it. And I really hope that's what people get out of this channel, if anything. I was watching another channel and it's about the law of attraction, and a lot of people in the comment section were saying, I don't think I need to watch this channel anymore. I think part of it is me just going out and doing it. And that's part of this channel as well. It's actually twofold. One, comes to a point where you'll start living your life and you'll just know what to do. You won't need to see a video on it. And two, this is for, I thought of my nephews when I started this channel, and that was, what are stories that Uncle T could tell that would hopefully help them out down the line? Maybe if I'm not around anymore, or maybe if I'm not available on the phone, or, you know, both, who knows, that these videos could help them out. And I really know that this topic is an important one because you are most likely somebody who gives an F. And I think it's important to understand that it's not about not giving an F anywhere, but it's about understanding the first thing of 3, as we do in all these videos. We give you 3 things, then we give you a story. Talk about formulaic. You have to understand that your Fs are a finite resource. They are a limited resource. You only have so many Fs you can give throughout the day. And for an example, there's a thing called decision fatigue. And they did a very, very deep study on this, and they looked at judges in court, I think it was civil court, and they looked at the decisions that they made. No, it wasn't civil court, it was definitely criminal court. They looked at the decisions that they made in the morning, then before lunch, then after lunch, then at the end of the day. And in the morning, they found that the judges were more lenient, they were a little bit more grace-giving, and then right before lunch, they were handing out years like candy. And then after lunch, a little more lenient, a little more grace-giving, and then at the end of the day, everybody 20 to life. Get out of here. And it's because you only have so many decisions you can make throughout the day. This is why you've probably heard the story about millionaires and billionaires putting on the same thing every day. Their clothes, they just have it picked out. They don't want to waste a decision on that because they've made so many decisions throughout the day that they don't want to waste it on their clothes. They just want to know what they're going to wear. So their decision fatigue, or their decision bank, or your F's bank, it gets depleted over a certain amount of time. And after it's gone, you start making some pretty poor decisions, or decisions that don't have the same quality energy behind it that you would like them to have. And so when you start giving an F about everything, maybe some things that don't deserve an F as much as other things, you begin to deplete yourself of all the Fs that you have throughout the day. So keep in mind, number one, your Fs given are a limited resource. They are a finite resource. Yes, they replenish overnight, or they may take months or even years to replenish. Me and some of the conversations I've had with very important people in my life, and even talking to my therapist about certain events in my life, there's only so many F's and only so much thought and time that I can give to those subjects before I am absolutely depleted. And I think it's extremely important for you to know that your F's are absolutely finite. You can't give an F about everything. You can, but the issue is that you will not be giving quality F's to all the things throughout your day. The second thing is what I have written here: stop giving an F about things that don't matter. But the thing about that statement, and I can correct it a little bit here, is figure out what matters the least, or figure out what doesn't matter, or figure out what really matters a lot to you. And I actually had to do that for this channel because I was giving an F to a lot of other things that weren't as important to me as this channel, or weren't as important to me as creating 365 videos in 365 days. Like, it just didn't add up. There was no reason why I'm spending an extra hour at the coffee shop dealing with this news report that I just don't really care about. I'm just giving it the time of day and reading it, knowing fully well that I won't cover it personally, and I'm just kind of reading it to know what else is going on in the world, or doom scrolling through TikTok and Instagram and trying to figure out exactly when the day is going to end. So for me, I think you have to figure out what matters most. And for me, part of that is figuring out the work that you do. And when I see it reflected back to me, or I deliver a report, or I write a really great song and I'm really happy about it, I'm like, oh man, that feels great. I want to do that again. As opposed to go doom scroll and try to figure out what is the next worst thing happening in the world that I can focus on. So figure out what does not matter. Stop giving an F to things that don't matter. We will get into that in another video about not being a prisoner to what other people think, because I know that what people think of you is something that may matter to you, or something that you may give an F to. However, I would challenge you to really, really take inventory of just how much you prioritize what people think of you. So in my life, that used to be huge, because being a codependent, being a highly sensitive person, being somebody who's an artist, you usually always give some type of currency, some type of emotional currency to people paying attention to you. And you think, oh gosh, what do they think of me? Man, what are they thinking of me right now? And that energy, those F's, are given in that direction to the point that you can't give the F's to the thing that you really want to give the F's to. So really, really hone in on what does not matter to you, or what is important to you, what is paramount to you. For me, I had to really start taking inventory of the friendships and relationships and family that I had, and where do I prioritize those relationships? And why am I inserting just random reach outs from people that are like, hey, yo, let's I want to talk to you for like an hour or so. And it just like totally minimizing, that's not a word. I remember I learned that from a post that I made a few months ago. It marginalizing or minimizing the relationships that I hold paramount. And it could be happening to you as well. Getting into that flow where you're working with things that you know that matter to you, that is when a new level starts. Because once we've started to actually filter out the things that, I won't say they don't matter, but objective or subjectively to your life, they don't matter. They probably matter to somebody, but to you, they don't matter that much. But yet we find ourselves giving time to these things because we're not intentionally giving an F. The third and final thing is to tell people to F off politely or not. And there is a catch to this at the end of this third one. This one is tricky. When you tell people to F off, it is not always a overt, overreaching, get the F out of here. I don't need to take this S anymore. It can definitely be, I don't have time for this today. And I'm busy right now. Oh my goodness, I was watching this video where it was talking about giving your attention to the things that you want in your life, as opposed to giving your attention to the things that you don't want in your life. And this person made a quote from the audiobook, and they said, a friend once called me and said, would you like to have a good old-fashioned conversation? And me knowing a good old-fashioned conversation was going to entail gossip, complaining, negative talk. I told them, no, I don't believe I have the energy or life to have a good old-fashioned conversation. However, tomorrow, if you'd like to have a new-fashioned conversation, I'd be more than happy to have that with you. And I nearly fell out of my seat, because how often do we know that conversation is coming? We know somebody's gonna call with the tea. It's fun it's fun. It is fun to, don't get it twisted. However, when it becomes the only thing that we're talking about, then we become the only thing that we're talking about. Gossip, pettiness, really minute details that don't impact the bigger story in our lives or the things that we want. We end up focusing on the things that don't matter. When you get down to holding a healthy boundary between you and the people you want to or don't want to associate with, everything elevates. And it's not condemning, indicting, or judging those people. It is simply drawing a line for yourself and the energy that you will entertain throughout the day. I don't want you to get any of this twisted, that you're all of a sudden talking S about people and they ain't good enough for you. I go back to the line all the time, and I said this before in previous videos. Nothing is below me, only God is above me. And that is not to really scare anybody away that's like, whoa, don't you go preaching this God stuff. It's you could say only the universe is above me. You could say only the sky is above me. The whole point is that when we talk about the four horsemen, judgment, criticism, condemnation, defensiveness, and stonewalling, that critique and the critique and the condemnation are huge. And we're not pointing that at anybody. What we're saying is, for our lives, everybody's doing their best. We know. But for our lives, someone else's best may not be good enough at this time. And so when you tell people to politely F off, I want you to also, here's the catch, go inward. Look at the beliefs and thoughts that you have that you need to tell to F off. What are the beliefs and thoughts that do not serve you, that you've been letting live rent-free in your head, and you have not told them to F off? And that doesn't have to be politely at all. You can give yourself some grace and say, you know what, I have been housing, I've been boarding these no good, low down, non-serving beliefs. And you can actually do something about that. You can evict them. You can tell them, look, you can be here for a little bit, but you got to go. I know that you'll be back, and you're going to have to go. I come back to that one example by Bill Hader. He said anxiety can hang out for about 5 minutes, but then I got to tell him to go. And with beliefs and thoughts that don't serve you, how many of those can you politely tell to F off? Because you only have so many Fs throughout the day that you can give. It's a finite resource. It's a limited resource. This is the beginning of how not to give an F. But the inverse of it is, as a highly sensitive person, I'll say this, it's giving the Fs to the things that you care about. That's really what it boils down to. And it's, on another end of it, it's not giving the Fs to the things that don't serve you. They don't support you. They might just be around and leech off of you. And the thing that how the universe works is it wants to maintain that energy. It wants to maintain that vibration. So it'll, many times, if not all the time, it'll try to pull you back into that old vibration. And you will essentially say no and begin to be intentional about the Fs that you're giving and where they are going. And once you start building, once you start giving an F where you actually want to give it, then you start to build a life that gives an F. And like, when we talk about a lot of the community work that we do, it's like care, support, show up, be loud, say something, do something, be something that is about this compassion, that is about giving an F where you want to give an F. And then your life will start to really rack up to a lot of quality Fs. And there you have it. You'll have a life that gives an F about you too, because you give an F about that life. So we're gonna leave it on that. There's so many more videos we can do about this. I will get into it later. This is probably 1 of 7. You'll start to see like the title of this have like a number at the end of it, like 1 of 8 or 1 of like 1,000, because we could talk about not giving an F for a very long time. Best of luck to you in doing that. And oh, did we give you a story? I don't believe we did. All right, I'll give you a story. So the only way that I was able to muster the bravado, I won't even call it courage, the bravado to sit down for hours on end and avoid college homework in a coffee shop and write lyrics to a song was by way of not giving an F about what the possible fallout or connotations could be of that, but giving an F about the work that I wanted to do, which was being a musician and being a poet and being a writer, really when it came down to it, which I still am today. And to then take that same bravado and talk to 4 other musicians and say, hey, I think we should tour with this music. I believe in this, was to not give an F about the repercussions of that, about, you know, rolling around in a short bus that we was a makeshift tour bus. We painted it black, put our logo on the side of it, put decals and all this cool stuff on it, and made it our bus. We had to not give an F. And it meant that we had to entirely turn away from all the cautionary tales, all the things that our friends and family thought, all of the things that some of our inner voices or inner critics were saying, and we had to not give an F. The only way that I became a touring musician was by not giving an F. And if I did give an F, I would have never done it. I would have never gotten a theater degree. I wouldn't be making this video right now. I wouldn't be writing. I would definitely not have this mustache right now. But the whole point being is that step, that leap of faith in becoming a touring artist happened because I gave it up. I had to let it go. And we're gonna get into letting go later, but before I jump into 1, 2, 3 more videos before I finish this one, I shan't. So that is what you have for not giving an F. If you have any more questions about not giving an F or what you want me to hone in on in the next video, put it in the comments below. Or share a story about how you began to not give an F about a certain thing and how it made your life better for it. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. We will see you in the next one.